Hey there. Publish a tune. All right. What's going on? Who's here? Sam. Good to see you. You're here sooner than I think you are because it's like a 30-second lag, right? Like if I tell you to type something right now, I got the wrong glasses on, right? No, these are the right glasses on. Why are you blurry? Let me tune up real quick. Running a little late this morning. Sorry about that. I did get my coffee. Didn't sacrifice the coffee. Just my timeliness to my live stream. So we're going to continue talking about the CAGED method. We had a good turnout last week, and that was pretty fun. I might, you know what I could do. Let's see, Monday I could do later in the week. I may just show up on YouTube if you get a notification. I may just show up and do some pseudo jamming in the CAGED method. Maybe what I'll do is I'll pull up a diagram like this and as an example of what I'm going to be soloing over or whatever, or using what grid I'm thinking. So we'll get to the grid here on my my right, your left. It's actually my left as well on the screen. So we've got a good turnout. Hobby Bobby Lobby. So see how everybody's doing. Everybody's got any issues? I got a let's see, published help for review. I haven't responded to. Okay, I got a comment. Let's see. What was it? Just a couple days ago. Oh, on last week's live stream, I got a comment. Ever going to do anything besides talk to friends? And I said, probably not. Thanks for playing. So, I'm sorry, I'm getting a little snarky with negative Nellies. So, speaking of negative Nellies, or not negative Nellies, I don't know if did I mention before, Ted Lasso is a great show on Apple TV if you have Apple Plus or Apple TV, whatever it's called. Check out Ted Lasso. It's a great show. It got nominated for 20 Emmys, and there's a reason for that. And I love how the reason it's done so well is because it's almost anti-Hollywood. Hollywood loves the anti-hero. They love to take a child molester and have you rooting for them at the end of the movie. It's like, why am I rooting for a child molester? But that's what Hollywood loves to do. They love the anti-hero. They're cynical about everything. And they love to create, scapegoats, but they love straw men. I mean, as a Christian, I'm the perpetual straw man in all TV and movies anymore. So I'm fine with that. I've always said I kind of think that the great thing about Hollywood making the Christians the hypocrites is all Christians are hypocrites. So they're admitting the two most important things about Christianity. One, that Jesus was perfect, and two, people are not. So that's the two most important things that collide in Christianity. And so Hollywood actually gets that right about Christians. We are hypocrites because we're not living like Jesus. I certainly am not. You should see me when this camera goes off. Right? Molesting, exactly, yeah. Well, that's what prison is for. So I've been told. Actually, I've got a friend who actually went to prison for murder. And he got saved in prison. He works for my church. I see him every weekend. He got married to a cop and has a baby. So, but he spent he was in gangs. He was in gangs, Latino gangs in Los Angeles. So he's an amazing guy. He really is the coolest guy. And, you can still see kind of, sometimes I think the guilt and the hurt, but, he's come to grips with most of that, I think. Anyway. You're dying to learn to play a song in time. My guitar teacher really emphasized that I want to eventually play in a band. I have to say in time. Yes, with the band's rhythm. John, remember what I say, though. Teachers always say, practice to a metronome, practice to a metronome. I don't disagree with that at all. I'm pretty bad about that because usually what I'm doing so quickly is I'm like getting a figure down at a certain tempo and then moving it up faster, 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 right? Also, I kind of feel like when you have a metronome, when you're playing to a click, and trust me, almost all pop music is to a grid, is a click. The humanness kind of disappears. Choruses should be a little faster than verses, kind of thing, and that happened naturally back in the 50s, 60s, 70s. But when they started using click tracks and drum machines in the 80s, that's when that kind of people started. I think people more expect it to stay on the grid. That said, John, I would recommend practicing with a drum machine or drum loops. They may be a little bit busier than a click, but it'll help you have a better concept of what you're actually going to be playing with, because the drummer's not going to sit there and go like this the whole song with his sticks. Okay, that would be a click. He's going to be doing a groove, a beat, whatever the beat is in the song. So you're going to want to be able to play along with that. Playing along with records isn't quite the same thing. But playing along with a drum machine, because playing along with a record, you can make a mistake or you can do certain things and you're not going to hear it as much because you're hiding behind you're hiding behind Jimmy Page or whatever. But if you play along with a drum machine, it's just you and the drum machine practicing at home. And by drum machine, you don't need to go out and buy a drum machine. There's a million drum loops if you have an Apple computer. There's thousands and thousands of drum loops on GarageBand. I haven't even opened GarageBand in years, but I know back in the day they had a bunch. Right, John, and that is a thing that I've seen with some students. They have a real hard time. A lot of times it's just an overthinking it. A lot of it is trying to be too precise, trying to I'm going to get this chord. You just can't nail it. The main thing is you want to simplify. You can take a big E chord to the point where you don't even have to think about that. And that was my standard folk groove, so you can look that up. I've taught on that a couple times in the live stream, and I've done specific lessons on it. But you could take that groove, which is a syncopated groove, so it's a good one to try to get your hand to do consistently. Down, down, up, down, up, down, down, up. And you notice my arm is just moving constantly. Again, that's a thing you're going to want to do, even if you're only hitting one chord per bar. Even if I go 4, 2. I might keep my hand moving even if I'm just going, I may not, it just depends. I don't have to, but you still want to keep your arm moving no matter what is going on left-hand wise or musically syncopation wise. So we got 29 already. That's awesome. Well, we're going to continue talking about, I've just answered a couple questions here before we get going, get as many people on board as possible, and then I'll do a little recap of last week's lesson, brief. And is Alejandra here? I don't see. Was it Alexandria? What was her name? Alejandra. Anyway, she was just grasping the concept. But we'll review what CAGED method is, and then we're gonna start. I actually did 5 of these diagrams here, and you've probably already figured them out. But we're gonna talk about them. So. Let's see. Let me just do some shout outs in case that guy that was really mad at me for ever going to do anything besides talk to friends. And I said, probably not. Thanks for playing. Sorry. All right. So we got 30 people up here. That's not bad. Okay. Bruce and Holly, and I got all three of my moderators. How cool is that? You guys are so consistent, except Bruce. No, I'm just kidding, Bruce. Oh, and Bruce, it's funny, you sent me that video like the day after I watched it, the Kid Charlemagne video. And he didn't ask the question that would have been my first question. It kind of bugged me. Let's see. Yeah, again, John, John, I think playing to a drum machine is going to help that better than even a click. The other thing you do is just you can still jam with other guys. I would jam with other guitar players. That is huge, because or if you got a drummer friend, jam with them. Work out some Zeppelin riffs or whatever. Aslan, good to see you. Sam Stamos is here. Bob Schumann, Jack Lloyd, Tom Beck, good to see you. Roger, the engineer, the house engineer. Jack's liking working at Northrop, by the way, if you're wondering. He was just over last night. He's enjoying it. He's got lots of options. They're getting him a top security clearance, which is good. Dan, good to see you. And Hobby Bobby Lobby, great handle. David Sillers, just thinking about going to Scotland someday, maybe next year. Okay, I'm kind of hitting everybody that's on the live stream. I mean, on the chat. Okay, if you're not in the chat and you're just lurking, totally understand. You don't want to engage with these people. Gary's here too. Hi, Gary. Yeah, Gary, you play alone, but your time is fine. I don't really. And if you're playing alone, what difference does it make? I mean, it's not like you're going from 60 to 120 in the same song. It's nothing like that. Let's see. Jake Star 105. What is holding a pick seem so difficult? Yep. Jake, I've talked about this a lot, and everybody here probably could tell you what I'm going to say. I'm going to tell you what. Okay, now I can't think of his name. Vince Lombardi would tell you, and if you don't know who Vince Lombardi is, kind of shame on you, but so. Larry Brown, one of my favorite football players of all time when I was a kid. Larry Brown was a running back for the Washington Redskins, or the Washington football team or whatever. But it was called the Redskins back there, so I'm going to stick with that. He had a fumbling problem. And Vince Lombardi had just been hired by the Redskins from the Packers. And he only lived a couple more years. I think he died of cancer, probably lung cancer, because he smoked like a chimney. And he made Larry Brown carry the football with him everywhere, to the shower, to breakfast, to lunch, to bed. He literally carries it. What I would suggest is just carry a pick around, your pick, whatever pick you use. And you can get picks that have a little bit more grip on them too. And I do, when I strum, and I just did a video on this. Somebody wants to find it. Oh, sorry. Let me put the Discord link up there, okay? Let me do that now. Okay, I'm going to grab the Discord link. I'm going to pin it. You can join the Discord and, you know what? I'm going to upload all of these. Speaking of Discord, I'm going to go there now. And I'm going to, I did 5 of these diagrams that you see right here, okay? I did 5 of these because there's 5 different cage shapes. So I did 5 of these. I'm going to drag them into Discord right now, okay? So I'm clicking on Discord, and I put these in Tom's lesson PDFs and stuff. These are pings, actually. I just did screenshots. Screen grabs, as they're sometimes referred to. There we go. Lesson PDFs. Like the music reading stuff we've been doing, that's all up there. Okay, so here I got 5 of these that I just did. This is a two-handed gig here. Okay, and I'm going to drag these in there and go upload, 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 upload. Okay, so they're all up there now. So if you're on the Discord, you can go see that. Okay, so my content. Let's see if I click pick. Okay, it's funny. I just because of the nature of copy video link. Okay, so hopefully this will help you here. Jake? Oh, okay, you're 63. Well, I'm 60, so we're the same. Yeah. I was, thinking, oh, someone named Jake sounds like they're 15. But you know what? I don't have many 15-year-old viewers here, so. But that video, I called it How to Hold a Pick or How I Hold a Pick. I had to do the disclaimer because I would have gotten, if I hadn't said that, I would have gotten all sorts of people going, well, that's not officially how you hold a pick. And it's like, if you really want to be a speed player, you got to hold a pick this way. But I basically go into it in detail, but to some detail. But when I'm strumming, I hold the pick very loose to give it because I use a heavy pick. And so I hold it loose so I don't snag the strings. And it gives it a more thin pick sound and playability. But when I go into soloing, I kind of grip down. I expose less of the pick. And I will hold a much tighter grip on the pick. Just so you know. Hey, Joseph, good to see you. Tom Beck, Star Picks. Yes. Yeah, that's true. Some picks, and Star is one of them, some picks have a little hole, in the middle, so it's easier to grab onto. Okay, so let me, I've got plenty of people here. I think we've got over 30. 33. So let me just recap what I showed you last week. What we did was we took there's 5 open chords that most beginners learn, which is one of the things I love about the CAGED method, because it really builds on super duper basic knowledge that most guitar players have. 3 chords, they spell out the word CAGED. So we're going to do them in that order. C, A, G, E, and D. Now, what I just did there was, I'll do it in slow motion. Check this out. I'm going to do it in slow motion. Oh, sorry. I did all 5 of those chords with these 3 fingers. Now, what we did last week, see, everybody's going, wait, you could have taught last week's lesson in 5 minutes? Why didn't you? That's that guy's complaint. You just talk to your friends. Okay, so I'm going to do it with these 3 fingers. So we're going to eliminate the first finger, all right? So it's much more difficult, not critical. This is not need to know information, but it's progressive. It gets us to the next thing. Right, Holly? Yeah, exactly, Holly. The textured pit thumping. Okay, there's that. Oh, but Holly, how's the smoke up there? Is the fire starting to settle down? Settle down. So notice I'm playing every one of these chords with these 3 fingers. I'm not using, so here's C. Very difficult to play that. That's not very intuitive. This is how, oh, thank you, John. This is how I play the A chord anyway. So my fingers usually do that anyway. And G. If I'm going to do that thing in G, I'm going to play G with these 3 fingers. So I'm still got my first finger available, right? And E, no, I wouldn't play E that way. And I wouldn't play D this way. But I'm asking you to do it right now. And the reason we're doing that is now what we've done is we've freed up our first finger, which is I call our God-given capo, and we can take that C chord and we go up a fret and up another fret, boom, 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 boom. So in other words, now we have, this is 1 chord, this is 12 chords, because it can be moved to 12 different positions to create a different chord. And what this allows you to do is to start to see the C shape up and down the neck, okay? And you can see up here on my diagram up here, the red dot, those are supposed to be red. They almost look orange to me. I may be getting cataracts, I don't know. But it looks pretty orangey red to me. But anyway, that's the C chord, okay? These are all C chords. It's using the 5 shapes that I just talked about, the C, A, G, E, and D. And notice they occur in that order up the fretboard. So the next C chord is an A shape, okay? The next C chord is a G shape. The next C chord is an E shape. Don't worry, this you don't need to know here, but okay. So that's why we're learning this. Okay. So you take that A chord and you've got the bar, you can do 12 different A shapes up the neck, and every one of them is a different major chord. Same thing with the G shape. This is a very difficult shape. Again, this is more for theoretical purposes, visualization purposes, and not actual practice. I don't really ever grab a C chord like this. It sounds kind of cool. It sounds like a high G chord, right? Like you took a G chord, just put a capo up here. that's pretty difficult. It requires some dexterity, some strength in your left hand. The thing about this C chord, okay, like I just told you, I said, don't. But I noticed that John Lennon does this E chord a lot when the Beatles, when they went to E, like George might be here, John would be up here, and Alex, my son, seems to think that's maybe because they did a lot of like doo-wop stuff back in the 50s, and maybe they kind of got the habit of doing that form of an E chord. So the CAGED method is great for multiplying your chord knowledge up and down the neck, having more chords. Like, oh, I want a C chord, but this one, I don't want this one. Oh, how about this one? Good. That's based on this E form. So you don't have to play the whole thing. You just need, I'm just grabbing the top 4 strings of this E form C chord. Here's E, F, G, A, B, C. I'm talking too fast. Let me take a sip of coffee. So, John, you have 5 more questions for me? Because it's like you paid me too much. Blood orange. Yeah, see, that's what it looks like to me, too, blood orange. It said red in the software. And I'm like, so I tried to pick colors that were far enough apart in the spectrum that you could discern them, unless you're colorblind, which is not uncommon. What percentage, who knows, what percentage of people are colorblind? It's higher than I thought. I have a friend, actually, he's still a graphic artist. He works for Jimmy Kimmel, and he's colorblind. So, I've known him since he was in high school. The G and T, don't worry about playing the, John, don't worry about playing the D. You know, that's not, again, these are not for real use. This is more for theoretical purposes and to visualize them on your fretboard, which is exactly what's happening over here. Okay, and so this is where we're at now. Okay, so that's a recap of last week, and you're again saying, why couldn't you have done it that fast last week? Well, if I went too fast for you, go back and watch last week's video. We had a lot of views on that. I think we got almost 1,000 views already on that one. Whenever I take up a new subject, that usually does fairly well. So I should probably just do a new subject every week. Yeah, and Joseph, you can use your, I don't care if you use your fingers. Doesn't matter. You can use fingers and thumb, pick, it doesn't matter. You can strum with your thumb, you can strum with your fingers, you can strum with your thumb and fingers, you can strum with a pick. Jimi Hendrix would strum with his teeth. So you're golden. Okay, so again, there's 5 shapes, all right? And if you just look at this diagram here, the blood orange is the C shape, and it'll be the C shape on all of the diagrams that I put up here. The A shape is bluish. The the G shape, you can see there the green, okay? Those should look familiar, just isolated the way they are. The yellow is the E shape. It looks just like an E chord, right? And then, of course, that up here, that purple definitely looks like a C. I mean, definitely looks like a D shape, right? It's got that little triangle shape going on. And if you look down at the very first open position, see that down there, you got the 2 black notes. So I inserted those black notes just to kind of fill in some of the gaps. I may have missed one here or there. In fact, I missed the low E string on this one, but those aren't critical. But I just didn't want you to think that I was ignoring the fifths or the thirds or whatever. Again, I just want you to see these triads, or not even triads, these root shape, these chord shapes, the CAGED shapes, because when we do the bar behind them, then we kind of get a fuller picture. Like, for example, when we visualize all of this, not just these 3, you don't have to play this. Okay, I'm at the 5th fret, playing the G shape. I'm playing that one right there. So you can see I'm combining the A form here, right there at the 5th fret, those 3 blue notes and the green notes. I'm playing the blue notes and the green notes all together. That's the key of C major, okay? I mean, that's a C major chord, all right? Exactly, John. 5 interlocking puzzle pieces, and they move the same. They move the same way. They always stay in this order. Okay, you're gonna see that in the subsequent 4 other diagrams that I created, lovingly for you guys. So, I hope I make you laugh. Am I alone here laughing? Chicken picking. Cockadoodle. Chicken picking. Yeah, chicken picking is kind of like what is chicken picking? You know, I'm kind of that kind of. That would be over like a C chord. Here's a good example. I'm doing this lick. I'm going, okay, how can I do this lick in C? Well, I'm envisioning this E form C chord. I don't know why I'm doing that. Why am I angling so far away from it? Okay. I'm envisioning this E form right here, up here at the 8th fret. I know what was up. Now I end up on C, F chord. But that's a nice little transition lick. To an F, from C to F, 1 to 4, common chord change. Hey, Painkiller, what's going on? Is it possible to play Freebird using the CAGED method? I've never been in a band that ever did Freebird, so I'm sure I taught it 1,000 times. It's not. Does it go out of key? Is it in G? I can't remember Freebird. I could pull it up real quick. I mean, not the song, but some. Images. Oh, here we go. Wait, that's it, right? Yeah, that's it. Oh no, it goes to F, right? So it goes out of key. I forgot. Yeah, it goes G. So you have to have the F chord down to play Freebird. So yeah, I mean, there's no reason you can't. In fact, when they're soloing, although the solo is it? I just closed that window. Do they have the bridge on here? What's the solo section? It's just 3 chords, right? I want to think it's like oh, what is the chord progression at the end? Somebody tell me. Let's see, Pete's context. Can you show playing an A shape and a G shape to play a C chord in relation to each other? Yeah. So the A shaped C chord is here. That's kind of what's written there. You can see the A shape, but to actually make it a fuller chord, you could literally, I might do that. I might only play those 3 notes. But you don't have the bottom note is a G, not a C. So, or you could play using the G shape. Here's how you play C. That's exactly what I've written up here. This is exactly what this diagram is for. Okay, and that's great. Like I said, this is about rhythm. Oh, it was a pun. Okay. Painkillers, I mean, squirrel. And Painkiller knows me. It's like, you're a regular here. You should have known that was going to happen. All right. You're having to apologize to everyone. I love that. Okay, so yeah, so here's the E form C chord. And then, again, here's another C chord. So there may be times where you don't want that C chord. You want this one, or this one. I like this one's kind of nice. I like the top. That's a nice little triad there, and it's based on the A form. Here's you want to do that Count Basie lick. We got to start with this C chord that's based on the G form. but I'm not playing all the strings. So I might not, you know, it's unlikely I would ever grab the G form C chord out. But I would visualize it. In fact, what I was trying to, with the Freebird thing, right here, when I play this or visualize this, I'm already aware of 50% of the notes in the A minor pentatonic scale. Now, everybody take a sip. Everybody, we got a drinking game here, and this is one of the rules. If I say there won't be a quiz on this, you take a sip, okay? So, there won't be a quiz on this, but A minor pentatonic is the same as C major pentatonic. Same notes, they just start on different pitches. So yeah, I could play C major pentatonic using the exact same fingers. Oops. That's C major pentatonic. Here's the same exact thing. So the first pentatonic scale, often the first scale that guitar players learn. Okay, but by playing this C chord, I've actually got 50% of the notes already visualized and in my hand for this scale. So it makes it really easy. Like if I'm going, okay, I want to play something over the C chord, somebody's playing C chord, what do I do? Oh, you know, if I play, okay, oh, here's the G, oh, here's that, you know, these scale shapes will help you find voicings and chord voicings and things like that you can use to play rhythm. And then they can also help you to find, and we're going to talk about this, but they can find associated scales. And they can even, like this one here, I can, you know, here's the E form, right? F, G, A, B, C. Okay, here's the C chord. Now I can use that to find by playing this, I've got 50% of the notes in the C major pentatonic, however you want to play it. And again, we're going to talk about this on future lessons, more of that, using the shapes to help you find scales. But I also using it because I know the root. To find the minor pentatonic, which gives it a bluesy sound over the major chord. You play minor over major, it sounds bluesy. You play major over minor, it just sounds wrong. But I like to do it sometimes. As long as there's a passing tone. Yeah, so, okay, Jake, so basically, I noticed that John Lennon was playing this. I was going to do a video on this. I need to find the song I want to find more than one song that he did in it. But basically, he would play, I noticed him playing on his Rickenbacker, usually. He would grab this chord. And he might have had that open E string, and both E strings open. Let's see. I think he did it on that song. Close your eyes. No, what is it? I'm not used to play. I'm used to oh, A. No. But I noticed, I think he was playing this form here. So basically what I'm doing there is I'm playing pinky on the 7th fret of the 5th string. So you basically just think nothing for now on the bottom string. And then 7, 6, 4, 5, and then again nothing. And that would be kind of the John Lennon E chord. But because it's an E, you can play both the outside strings on it, and it should be fine. But I noticed he did that on a couple songs. I just got to try to find those videos again. So, hey, Salvador, good to see you again in England. Richard Lawson's here, too. So, let's see, like Sultans of Swing, they play a C chord and open chord. Yeah, let's see, Sultans of Swing is in D minor. I think he's probably playing an A form in that. I don't think he ever goes to a C form, like a C form, C chord. And I'll tell you why. I mean, he may, I could be wrong. I've never watched him play it live. But one of the reasons, like, I generally, unless I really have to, I generally try not to mix open chords on acoustic, open string chords with bar chords, because the timbre changes so much when you go from D minor to C to B flat. Like D minor is open, you get that open D string, you got C, and you go to B flat, and it's all fretted strings, and it just sounds a little more muted sounding. Now it's also a B flat chord that has a sound. So if I did all bar chords, and I don't even think he's doing octaves there. His brother's playing good rhythm guitar. Now he may go to, he definitely goes to open A, which again, that's one of those things where it's like idiomatically that Spanish sound often would do that. That 5 chord would be an open chord, and it almost aids the fact that it's a 5 chord. So I'm contradicting myself in some way. I could do a bar chord there. And I haven't watched a video of his brother playing it, but well, I don't even know what his brother's name is. It's Knopfler, but I don't know what his first name is. Beatles, yep. This one, yeah, exactly. It's particularly the early Beatles is what I'm talking. The first half, the pre, when they were still touring, which would be '66 and earlier. Yeah, Sultan's is in D minor, but it has a C chord in it. And I would probably use this C chord, going to that B flat. And I think it's A7, but I think you can use A. In that context, you can use those interchangeably. Some of the licks are A7 licks. I used to have that thing, but they're like... these are just little, like, here's a D minor, here's the C, B flat. So he's visualizing the D form B flat chord, and then he's visualizing the D form C chord. Just playing triads, basically. But it was such a groundbreaking record. I remember when that record first came out, I immediately bought it. And Sultan's, there's some actually really good tracks on that whole record, but I immediately knew they were going to be famous, and they were. Oh, Holly, did you answer my question? I see you asking about smokiness, and then I asked you, but I never looked for your answer. Holly's such a good moderator. She's just welcoming everybody here. Jokester Little Real. I'll be your jokester Little Real. Hey, who's on a big screen? Who's watching me on a really big screen? Hey, Holly, I think your cat needs to be fed. Okay, so all right, so C major scale. Oh yeah. So basically we've got this C, you can see the A form C, you can see the G form C chord, and the E form C chord, and the D form C chord. So the form is what it looks like, the little shape that it takes. It's a shapeshifter. Kind of creepy. Okay? So now, like I said, I did 5 of these for you, and they're all up in the Discord, so if you want. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take the A form, and we're going to start A, and you'll see I had to do the 2-color thing. I tried to do a half purple, half red, but I couldn't get that to work. So, but you can see where the C form and the D form share a note. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. But now if we start with an A chord, we're playing an A chord. Well, the the order of the shapes stays identical. It's A, you see the A, and then after A is G, after G is E, after E is D, after D, what am I there, and then C. Yeah. So that's the beauty of this method, is it's so consistent, and it's just chain link fence. You know, chains on a chain, not chain link fence, chains on a links on a chain. That's what I'm trying to say. This is one link, and this is another link, and this is another link, and it just links. It just wraps around. I didn't put down here at the bottom. I didn't put another. I should have put another A form. The three blues down there. I should have done that so you can see that it goes full circle. Okay. But you can see it here at the 12th fret. You know, there are the red notes. That's the C form. Well, after C is going to be A. So right there would be at the 14th fret would be these three notes. Okay. Cool and rain, yes. Oh no. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that's what you were saying. You had. I know. I would love some rain. We're definitely cooling down though. We're definitely going into the low 80s next week, or this week. So that's going to be nice. Okay, so we're on the A. So the A shape, and again, I'm playing with these three fingers. You can play with these fingers. It doesn't really matter. Okay, the next shape up is the G shape. The next shape up is the E shape, and there's an E shape A chord. That's an A chord. This is an A chord. And this is an A chord, not acorn, A chord. And then here's the little D form. And that would be, of course, he used the capo. But that's the key of Here Comes the Sun. Look, Beatles fixation today, huh? Sorry. And then we have, the last one would be the C shape. And again, these are, you know, I'm just going back, you know, I'm just working. Now, sometimes I'm just doing licks from memory and I'm not really thinking of the shapes. When I came up with them, though, I was probably, you know, oftentimes seeing, here's the C shape. You're thinking the D7, the D shape. And then to the E shape. And then all of it goes to the G shape, and then I go to the A shape. All of that, you know. All those connected together using these exact shapes. All right. What we are going to do, I think, in this this lesson series, and again, you know me, I'm kind of a little worried about getting too far away from the sight reading thing, because I know that's a skill. You got to, guys, promise me that you'll just kind of spend a little bit of time trying to at least keep looking at those black dots on the staff to help you with that. So yeah, and boxes are something that are pretty common. A lot of players use box shapes, and what boxes are basically repeating shapes that go up usually on a diagonal. We can talk about box playing. The perfect example of box playing for me is the solo, both solos to Let It Be, the one on the album and the one on the single. That's it. George is really kind of utilizing these three boxes, real simple index ring finger boxes, 3 5 3 5 5 7 5 7 8 10 8 10. But those boxes are also wrapped around. If you think about the C chord here, there's the C note. It's right beside of this thing, and right on top of this. So the boxes are actually giving away some of the parts of the the CAGED method chord shapes too. So they work, those two things, it's not an either or situation. They work together, okay? You can do one or the other, but they also work, they betray each other, let's put it that way. So, yeah, the D shape is all, I like the D shape too a lot for, like, if I'm in C, well, we're in A. So I'm in A. D shape's great for rhythm, coming up with cool rhythm parts, you know. Or maybe I might do. You know, it's always, you're always trying to find that a magical part to put on top of someone just going, you know, they're playing on piano, A. What do I do that? Or they might be going A, C. So I might have to go, you know. And that works really great over that. And I'm just coming up with my rhythm part based on the visualization of this D form A chord. Okay? So those are all the A shapes. All right? And then here's the last one. Rika, sing. Good to see you. I don't know how to say sing. How do you say it? With the H, oh, Chris, how are you going to tell me how to say it? This is a chat. I always just say sing. I think that's right. That sounds right. So, yeah, all of those. Well, the thing about those, Steve, some of them are like the A is definitely. We've got the fifth, we got the third. I mean the root and the third. But this G one, I'm just trying to have you visualize those three to kind of build on this. But that's the root, third, and another root. So we don't have a fifth here, a triad. But in that one's a triad, and this one's a triad. But this one is not. The red notes, that would be a root, a third, and another root. So we have a root and a third in every one of these, but 3 of them have fifths and 2 of them do not. So by themselves, I don't know that I would call them triads individually, but some of them are, and some of them aren't. But if you do the full thing like this, then they all become giant cowboy chords. You know, what I'm saying, okay? But cowboys play a lot of songs in minor too. So, and we could talk about the CAGED method as it refers to minor too. But oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, that's a different thing. We talked about that last week. The roots, Sam saying it's important to know where the roots are. Yeah, we talked about that last week. Now I'm just wanting you to visualize these shapes, but definitely to know where the root is. I didn't mark the roots. I was going to put like R. I was going to put R3 and 5 in there. I just ran out of time. I just okay. I'm lazy. Confession time. Oh, well, awesome, Rika, I think. Everything you've learned from me. Don't forget to join up that, yeah, these are all major triads, though. Ultimately, these are all major triads. Well, can you do the CAGED method with minor? No, we talked about that last week, because remember, I can play A minor, I can play D minor shape, I can play D minor shape, but there's no C minor shape in open position. Okay, there's no G minor shape in open position. I mean, I could technically, but there's no way to move that. Okay, because I don't have if I had 5 fingers, as I held up 5 fingers, if I had 6 fingers, I might be able to do a movable G minor shape. But yeah, no. And the thing is, the majors. If you have a C major, if we're playing A major, here's F sharp minor. So it's not too difficult to find the relative minor and therefore start seeing minor shapes up and down the neck, okay? Yeah, that's a little bit tough to cram all of these in here. Oh, index ring. Oh, index ring. Yeah, some people play A. That I don't really care how you play it. Flamenco players play it like this. Do you know that? I've showed you that, right? Open, C. Open, and then first finger, second finger. So they can do that. That exact thing, right? Man, I haven't played flamenco in a long time. Just don't have enough time. I need more time in my life. I need more lifetimes in my life. If I had a lifetime, a bunch of lifetimes, I would definitely spend one of them trying to master flamenco music. Flamenco guitar. Don't know if it's possible, but for me. But okay, so yeah, what's wrong with the likes? Come on, get some likes up here. Oh, we got 26 likes. Kind of hopping all over the place. We were up to 40 there, but we're not in the 50s like we were last week. It's because it's not the first episode. It's always that first lesson that does so well. Okay. All right, so I'm going to give her this one now. The next one, so we've done the C up, and we've done starting on the C chord, and we've found all the other four shapes and placed them in the C. So they were all C chords, but different shapes. And it created a bunch of chains, links in a chain. So we're going to do the next one, which is going to be the G shape, okay? So I'm going to remove this. Yes. Oh. What did I just do? Unbelievable. Can I undo that? Of course not. Which one was... See, that's the thing. I don't know. There we are. And now it's going to be in front of everything. So I got to send it to the back. How do I send it to the back? Oh, order. At the bottom. There we go. Okay. So it's really... There we go. Now... None More Black. Such a great movie. How much more black could it be? And the answer is none. None more black. Most of that movie was improvised. I know, shoot, what's his name? Harry Shearer. I have a friend that works with Harry. Well, a friend of mine is Spinal Tap's music director, has been for 25 years, so he's got some great stories. Okay, so here's the G form, and hopefully I did these right. I kind of did them this morning. Where's the dot? Oh, there we go. Okay. So now you can see the green is the G shape. And again, I kept these to 3 note shapes, okay? You're like, well, why didn't you make that D note there green? Because, yes, that's a G chord, but I'm really wanting you to see just these 3 notes because that's what we're simplifying the shape down to make it movable and have our first finger be our human capo, okay? So, yeah, sure, I could play G this way. No, both are correct. But again, I'm trying to be consistent with these diagrams. And again, you can see where we have an overlap where the D form and the C form share a note. Okay, they share, in this case, those are both G notes, the root. Okay. Okay, so we have two different shapes. Okay, so we have G here, all right, and then we have, if you play the E form here at the 3rd fret, that's also a G chord, but it's E. And notice again, the same order is the same: G, E form, E shape, D shape, C shape, A shape. G, E, D, C, A. We're creating the same order of chord shapes. Okay. So So the G, again here, this is the one we start with, and we have the E form, which is right here at the 3rd fret, okay? And if you can't do bar chords, that's okay, but if you can just visualize this being there, okay? Then you can see. Okay, you can kind of see some licks right there built in it. Now we're going to talk about that in the future. I'm gonna, we may do a lick a day or two, some riff. I'll teach you a riff that we can do that highlights the shape. All right, and also maybe some connecting riffs. Those are actually the kind of the fun ones to come up with. The ones that take me like I'm thinking, okay, I'm on this. Here's the D form, right? Looks like a D chord, but it's a G chord, actual G chord. And if I want to continue with the visualization of the whole, moving this all up, I could do this, but it's not critical. But I can see this. That's one of my favorite connecting licks with the CAGED. And all I'm doing is 4 3 1 5 4 3 1 5 4 3 1. And I've heard this in a million songs. Might do that. But what I'm doing is I'm on the D shape, I'm on the E shape, and then I'm on the G shape. Just backwards. Kind of like a box, but using shapes. And also, if you notice this, play this here. Okay, that's the D shape, right? But it's a G chord because I'm at the 7th fret. That's a D, that's a G, and that's a B. So we have 5th, root, and 3rd. Don't worry, there won't be a quiz on that. Everybody take a sip. I'm not going to quiz you on triad theory, okay? Just use your super short-term memory. Say that 3 times fast. Super short-term memory to remember that this is 5 1 3. 5 1 3, like an area code. What's that the area code for? 5 1. Okay, never mind. Sorry, squirrel. Okay. Well, if I play the E form 5 1 3, it's the same. It's the same. The same triad and the same inversion, just an octave down. Okay. So you can kind of think about that when you're playing. Like, oh, cool. Okay, those are actually the same. So whatever I do to this, I can do this. Whatever you do to this one, you can do this one, and this one's, it's all congruent. It all works together, okay? Hey, there's Alejandra. I've been wondering about you. We moved on without you, sorry. I'll start from the beginning, just for Alejandra. In Chile. I see, I remembered this time. All right, so, Cincinnati, Chile. Wax on, wax off. And then the other shape, the C shape here, if we move the C shape up here, I actually will do this shape sometimes. I like it. I've been using it lately with the open G string. Now, I might put my pinky up here on the 10th fret, so I have, it's a nice sounding G chord. I have to ignore Joseph's comments because he'll squirrel me. He'll get me off on tangents talking about black belts. Hey! Patrick Russell's in the house. Cincy. You're in Texas. I don't know if have I told the Patrick Russell story? I did my David Blaine trick and freaked him out. He thought I was levitating. One of my funnest memories is Patrick running around the restaurant freaking out because he thought I levitated. And I know he was just playing me, but it still was fun. Everybody loved it. Okay. Oh, Holly or Alejandro, you're working? No, you can't work on Mondays. This is just the thing. You can't. You got to be here on Mondays. It's your day off from now on. Okay, so Yeah, so you take that C shape and you move it up to here. We're doing G's now. So we're in the key of G, so that would be here. I mean, like I said, I'm just making the G sus. So I'm playing 10, 9, open, 8, 10. And then when I'm doing the sus, I'm going 10, 10, open, 8, 10. You were in a fragile state. Yeah, we were having fun. That was like at Denny's or something. It was, or Conrad's or one of those places. It was the one in South Pass. Was that Conrad's? I think we were in South Pass. Patrick's a good guy. We've been friends a long time. So, and then the last shape was the A shape, which is right here. It's, in fact, if you look at I was going to make up here at the very top, those 3 black dots. I was going to make those blue, and I did, and then I changed it back to black because I didn't want to confuse the issue because I didn't want you to think we were doing the A shape again. I wanted it to be clearly the lowest shape that I put on here, the lowest position was the G shape. Okay, so I can put all of these up here at the end. Okay, I'll put all 5 of them up so we can see them. They're all in the Discord, so if you want to download them, put them in a PDF. I mean, put them in a Word doc and print it up yourself so you have them. Totally fine. Again, this is a visualization exercise. This is so you can start to see these shapes. Okay, now I'm not calling them triads. I'm calling them shapes. Yes, that's me, Salvador. Yeah. Yeah, that's mostly what I do is I write music for TV and play on movies and games and stuff like that. So I'm an actual professional working musician. So that justifies all the guitars behind me. I have friends I know people that are not pros, but they'll have like 7 Les Pauls in 7 different colors, and I'm like, wow, really like Les Pauls. Okay. Patrick, you probably know guys that have better gear than you. You're a player, and you got guys, that like they just have money, so they like guitars, so they buy guitars. Okay, so that's the. This is one starting with a G shape, and I'm just basically again what I'm doing is I'm using all 5 shapes to show you where they would be in relation to the G chord, and the relationship in all of these are identical so far in all of them, and they will continue to be. I'm not trying to tell you something's going to change. Okay, so we've done the C, the A, and G. Now we're going to do the E. So the lowest chord is going to be that yellow chord is going to move down to first position. So I'm going to try to remove this without removing my video. Okay. Yes. All right. Now, here's the other one. And again, all of these are up in the Discord. In Tom's PDFs and all that. Okay. And I was doing these in kind of a hurry, so hopefully I didn't mess up. If I mess up, I'll fix it right now and re-up it. Okay, so you can see the yellow there is the low, is an E chord, okay? And then this purple, that's a D form, but that's an E chord. The red, those 3 notes there, that's an E chord. If I played the G string with it, it would sound really funky. Very, one of my favorite bands, Weezer sounding there for some reason. Okay, and then there's the A form. Again, we're playing E chords. This is the A form. And by form, I mean shape. This is the A shape right here. Okay, but it's an E chord. And then here's the G shape. And the relationships are the same. Again, so we have the E. And then if we go up like basically 2 frets, we're going to get the D. And if we share this note, we get the C shape. And if we think of this as the root, we get the D, the A form. And if we think of this as the A, we get the, you can kind of start to connect them. And then now that we have these 2 notes, we can go, oh, boom, and so here's one where I did the octave of the first one because I thought, well, this one makes a lot of sense. You can start to see how it would loop. If you had a 400 fret neck, you could keep doing these all the way up to here. Okay, so that's approximately where the 400th fret would be. So I have no idea where the 400th fret would be. Really have 0 idea. Okay, so how are we doing here? How are we doing, Holly? Sam Stevens. 867-530. Oh, God. I thought you were giving me a phone number. I'm like, don't put a phone number up there. And you know, there were stories of actually Jenny's living at that number and husbands wondering why all these guys were calling his wife. Now, that may be folklore or something. Yeah, we're learning. Yeah, and Alejandro, we learned the shapes last week, but now we're putting them up on the fretboard for context, okay? And we've done, sorry, I'm trying to get my windows in order here. There we go. We've done three, this is the fourth one. We have one more to do. And what I'll do is I'll put all five of them up here so you can kind of see them all together. And they're all in the Discord. You can join the Discord on that link at the top here, over here. Shoot, what am I trying to do? I'm trying to point right here. Okay. Oh, well, I don't know where. Oh, yeah, it's here on for you guys too. I have it positioned here, so I don't know if the chat is on that side of the video. But at the very top here is where I have a link. You can join Discord for free. Try to use, and Bruce has probably put the notification up there too. Try to use your handle for your YouTube handle, so we know who you are. Otherwise, you're just going to get tired of answering the question, who are you again? So that's for your sake, not so much for ours. Because we'll be like, wait, who are you? Now, somebody does have a different handle up there, Josh. Josh, I don't think, Josh, are you here today? I don't see Josh Flegg here today, but he has a different handle on Discord, but not recommended. Because every time I see him, but I think he put in parentheses Josh Flegg. So I think I do know who he is. So, okay. So we have the E. Boom, here's the E. Okay, play that shape. Try it. You can play those three notes only if you want. Joseph's all caps all the time. I just imagine him shouting at the computer. Joseph, why are you mad at your computer? Okay, here's the D form, which is after E, right? E, D, and then C, A, G. Here's the D form. Okay, this C form is here, and this is E chord, and then again, just reviewing. Here's the A form, but that's E. So A, after A is G and G, and then after, oh, sorry, I spend more time here on the G. Okay, so let me do a lick. I'm just going to mess around here using all of those shapes to descend down to an E chord. I'm going to start here with that. Okay, so I'm just kind of using the shapes to help guide me down, help me to find licks, help me to find scales, help me to find major scales, minor scales, whatever. I mean, I could do minor licks over that to give it kind of a bluesy sound. So okay, let me maybe do that again, but describe what I'm doing, okay? Because I don't want to. I'm not trying to show off here. I'm not trying to play over your heads. I'm just trying to show you how this can be used. All right. So the first one was I'm visualizing this E form up an octave. Okay. A little more difficult on acoustic than electric because I don't have as much room. I'm just playing like a pentatonic minor over the E. I might put that major third in there to kind of let people know, yeah, I still know I'm playing over a major chord. Then I slid down to this G here instead of playing it here. Well, as soon as I did that, now, boom, now I'm kind of in this form here. I'm playing the G form. Okay, and then I might go to that instead of here. When I do that, if I do that, then now I'm immediately placing myself over the A form. And so now I can visualize this A shape here, but it's still an E chord. One of my favorite A form licks is this one here. I'm taking taking my second finger, putting it on the second string at the 8th fret, and I'm bending it up a fret. Trying to get, don't even need to get all the way up there. Just because blues, you don't need to be perfect. It's better to be flat than sharp. So I'm actually trying not to get to that pure G sharp. I'm kind of getting in between, a little below G sharp, and then I'm hitting this here, which is the 5th of this chord, and then I'm hitting the 6th. It's like I'm going. Something like that. I forget who I first heard do that. But you could even go up to that G. But up to that E. But I'm trying to go down the fretboard, so I'm not going to do that. So now I'm in that form. But the next form down is the C form, right? So I might go. Now I'm visualizing this shape. Okay, and then if I go, now I'm visualizing the D form, and then now I finally get down to the E form. Okay, so that's what's happening when I'm often when I'm soloing, as I'm working my way up and down around, or you can stay put. You don't have to move up and down the neck, but it does give you some range. If you have more range if you're moving up and down the fretboard. So, okay, does that make sense? All right, let's do the last one. I'm going to put this away for a second. Ugh. You guys tired yet? I'm tired. John, thank you. Oh, John's not here anymore. I think John's probably pulling someone's teeth out. I haven't seen John in a while, but thanks for the tip. I appreciate that. Definitely helps me continue to justify doing YouTube stuff. The revenue from them is slow, and again, it's all because of I had 70%, 75, 80% of my revenue coming from one video. So that was 7 tips for older beginners, which is how most of you know me. Okay, so I'm going to delete this one, see if I can do it without deleting the video. Remove, okay. Yes. And I got the last one. Here's the last shape that I've done. Oh, what happened to them? Oh, there you are. Boom, there's the last one. Okay, so the last one's a D shape. We did the C, we did the A, we did the G, we did the E, and now we're doing the D. And again, you see the D shape and the C shape share a note. So, well, that's hard to say. The D shape and the C shape share a note. Okay. Okay, Dennis, time to start another thread on the Discord. Tom's tongue twisters. No, don't do that. We did just start one. What was it? Got a question posted here. Oh, wow. Well, I have a feeling a lot of these questions are... Okay. Are the case system pentatonic patterns related? Yes. Sure. Holly, you asked this. I didn't see these. Yes, Holly, that is not a dumb question. The CAGED method, I just showed you, in fact, how we can take both major and minor pentatonic scales and kind of superimpose them. We're going to do that. That's going to be more, I'm going to be creating more diagrams. And one of them was going to be like, we'll have the A form there, and you'll see superimposed over it, hopefully, if I can figure out some magical way of doing that. The major pentatonic and the minor pentatonic. Because again, there's 5 pentatonic shapes, right? 5 majors and 5 minors. And we have 5 chord shapes. So each one of these has their own pentatonic shape that goes with it, which actually makes it really easy to start to connect the pentatonic shapes up and down the neck. Now, I've taught the pentatonic scales as its own lesson for years and years and years. One of the first things I ever taught was how to see the 5. And we've talked about this, and I've got videos on this. Oh, your mother should know. Hey, Joseph, another thing you can do, too, is you should be able to increase the size of the font in the browser. So if you just hit probably Command-Shift+, you may increase the size of the chat. I don't know what browser you're using and what computer you're using. If you tell us what browser and computer type of PC or Mac, Joseph, in the chat, then somebody here will be able to tell you how to increase the font size. It's very easy. It also increases the size of me, which you may not want to do, but I'm doing it anyway to you. How's it going? Okay. Yes. No, Holly. Okay. Yeah. You do. It is hard to get, but the way you do it is you put it to use somehow, and then we got to figure that out. Me personally, in fact, I've got I think my next single is here. Me personally, when I want to learn something, I write a song that uses it. This song, I played bits of it for you. It's Emma Louise, my daughter's name, and it's a fingerstyle piece. It's not super flashy. I'm not really trying to do anything super flashy because part of my reason for doing some of these things is to kind of create something that's musical that could be used maybe in a TV thing or a movie or something like that. So, but I always, if I'm trying to really get something in here, I will write a song that uses it. So like this song that I'm working on, I really was trying to do pull-offs in time. The temptation to do pull-offs is to treat them as grace notes. So I'll give you an example. Here's a pull-off. Let's see. Right? This is a grace note. And the temptation is to do things as grace notes. So I was trying to. I'm trying to remember it. I always forget to go to that. Shoot. There was a ghost. It's funny because I actually filmed a video about this song just recently. I was playing it and practicing it, and I said, I'm going to film it and use it up for YouTube footage and stuff. And I actually decided to start rewriting it a little bit because I felt like it was a little boring. But it's just kind of a fun little thing. I could see it being an intro for a TV show or something like that, or I don't know. I try to make it kind of quirky. It's got kind of and I've tabbed it out already, so I'm also going to sell the tabs on like Etsy or something. I've got the tabs for I think the tab for question mark is something like 9 pages long. But you like that song? Joseph, you have 3 computers. Sorry, Catherine. Hurting your left hand. Well, it's okay. Let it. All right, so. Take care, Kath. So this is the last of the shapes here. The starting on the D. Okay, we did C, A, G, E, and now we're doing D. There's the D shape. Here's the C form D. Okay, and again, I think John Lennon also used this one. So I just have to find. I saw it in a song, and I can't remember what song he used it in or what video it was, but he used this and this for E and this for D one time. Okay, the next, if you take the A shape and move it up here to the 7th fret, you've got also D chords. There's a D chord, D triad. Okay, and then if you go the G shape up here, okay, that's without the open bar. With the bar, we'd have a D form. You don't have to be able to play these, okay? Again, I just want you to be able to kind of see that you've moved the G shape up, you know, because you'll. I mean, the G form is one of the favorite ones to solo over, you know, or solo within, because it's just a very happy pentatonic major scales right there. I think I moved it, or no, I scooted back or something. Okay, and that's, again, I'm playing a D chord. And then the last one is here. The E form. I don't know why I put those 2 dots up there, but I did. Those are F sharps. But yeah, you can see the little E shape here. Boom. If I slide and take this E. Okay, that's E, F, G, A, B, C, D. That's one of the first things any beginner, first song most beginners write. They do something like, you know, they'll go like, like, oh, I wrote a song, check it out. Isn't that cool? It's like, yeah, 4,000 other, 4 billion other guitar players have done that. But I did it too. It was probably my first song I ever wrote. Okay, so again, D, 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 and D. Now again, these are also great for rhythms ideas. And I'm kind of visualizing this E form, the E shape. Okay, here's the G shape. You guys solving Joseph's Zoom thing. So anyway, let's see what else is going. Okay, so let me see if I can kind of fit all of these in here, so you can just kind of see them all. And this was the 5th one. Not in any particular order, although I did do them in the C, A, G, E, D order. And again, you can go to Discord, download all these, and then put them in your own document so that you have them. You know, if you have a color printer, you could even have the colors. I don't know what they would look like if you printed them black and white. I don't even have a color printer. I got tired of buying yellow ink when I only printed in black and white. And it was like, I never use yellow or blue or red. I'm just black and white. So why won't it print because I'm out of yellow? I hated that. It was like built-in obsolescence. And so I just said, okay, I'm going to fight the man and buy a inkjet or a laser jet. I forget what is it? I always forget which is which. And of course it doesn't say on here, but it's a Brother black only printer. So that sounded kind of racist. Brother. It should be spelled with an A, black only printer. Where's my mouse? Oh, there you are. Okay. All right. So, all right. So you can see all of them. So you can see, if you look at the bottom shape in each one of those, it's C, A, G across the top, and then the bottom two, E and D. See that? Okay. The C shapes is the, what do you call it? What did we call that? Was it burnt orange or something? I forget. It looks orange to me. It was supposed to be red. I'm like, does it look like red? I'm like, am I getting cataracts? I know that my doctor said I'm like, on a scale of 1 to 10, I have 1 cataract, 1. How can you use, okay, good question, Alejandra. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you so much for pointing that out. I didn't know. Alejandra, well, I don't know what your daily routine is. It's like if you're only going to play Bob Dylan tunes and only play rhythm, you might not ever have need for something like this. But the CAGED method is one of those methods that most guitar players use, whether they know it or not, to solo and to find alternative ways to play something. So, but how does that translate into your daily use? Here's the thing. If you're playing by yourself, you're probably, if you're like in a coffee shop and your gig is to sing songs, which is a great thing to do, phenomenal. Oh my gosh. If you can sit in a coffee shop and entertain people for 2 hours or 3 hours playing your guitar and singing songs, that's phenomenal. The amount of skill that you have to be able to do that. What I would say to people like that is often, well, you need to come up with some different right-hand strumming grooves so everything's not boring, so you're not playing every song like, like. You can have one maybe that's. Or maybe. So that you have different feels. But if you're playing with another guitar player, then there's times where maybe that guitar player is playing a C chord and you need to do something different. So you could play a reharmonization, you could play this C chord, you could capo and play an A form. That's the other thing. This visualizing the fretboard this way allows you to kind of see, oh, if I put the capo at the 5th fret, then that's a C chord. It's just a matter of discovering the other chords. I've talked about capoing too, and there's all sorts of charts. I should do a chart for everybody, a capo chart. But basically, what that would allow you to do is to be different than the other guitar player. Okay, so you're not both doing the same thing. Sometimes you both want to do the same thing. All right. Sometimes you want to add impact. A lot of times when I'm tracking guitars, sorry, getting some text here. A lot of times when I'm tracking guitars, acoustic guitars, I will double myself. I will try to play the same thing very similar and then pan it left and right, okay? Well, Gary, the secret there is just to do some a cappella raps. So just start rapping a cappella for like 10 minutes to give your hands a rest, okay? Or just... The other thing you can do is you can tune open tunings and just play slide. So yeah, I mean that's one way. The other thing, so that's more, Alejandra, the rhythmic application of the CAGED method. In other words, using the CAGED method to come up with some different voicings, different chord sound. Same chord, you still want a C chord over the C chord, but maybe a different voicing so that you sound different than the other guitar player. Okay. And then the other advantage or the other benefit of knowing your fretboard, knowing the CAGED method is for finding all the different scales that we're going to talk about. And what I want to do is I want to show you, like, we'll talk about one form and then show you some scales over it. But we're probably not going to do them in open position. We're probably going to be like, if we do C, we might do this one. So we might do C one week, and then the next week we might do G's in the E form, and I could show you that way we're learning all the pentatonic scales or major scales associated with the E form. Okay, so that's what we're gonna do. But scales are only part of the equation. Scales just give you the inbounds, out of bounds notes. Scales don't help you create melodies or lick ideas. And so I will also probably go, hey, if you're gonna play E form, it's a great lick. Just like I love that Count Basie piano lick that comes from the G shape. Actually, I think he did it originally in C. He liked the key of C. And Gary, you can always insert a story. People like stories. I mean, I'll tell you a story. No, I'm just kidding. I know that there's some. If you're a really good storyteller, it's compelling. If you're not a very good storyteller, you kind of have to have the story worked out. Trust me. Although Diane, I remember she loved my stories. We haven't seen Diane in a long time. Hey, Brian, what's going on? Oh, you're out of coffee? Uh-oh, I'm getting there. I'm almost out of coffee. I'm doing better, too, by the way. I'm feeling better. I'm a little achy at night. Taking a little bit of aspirin at night because I had shingles. So that was, my back looks like I got shot by a farmer. It's like a farmer with buckshot just took a. I was like stealing one of his chickens or something. It's the story I'm going to tell. Everybody's saying, what happened to your back? Oh, I was stealing Farmer John's, chickens, and he shot me in the back with some. What is Discord? No, Discord, you spelled it right the first time. Yes. Michael, Discord is just another social media thing. It's kind of like a forum. A forum? How would you describe? The Dennis is the one that created it. Basically, it's a forum where you guys go talk about me. No, I'm just kidding. But after and before and after lessons, my live stream had started. Remember, when I started this back last March of 2000, I think the 18th was the first day of March. I did 62 days in a row. And originally I was only going to do a half an hour, and it quickly morphed. Like by the end of the first week, I was doing 2 hours every day because I, was worried about income. And I figured, well, YouTube is one place where I was making some money. So I thought, well, maybe I can pump that up, and it did. It did quite well for a while there. Good. I'm glad I answered your question, Alejandro. I know there's a language. English is not my first language. I don't have a first language. I don't speak any language. I'm impressed with anyone who can speak more than one. Alejandro, and maybe I can try to come up with a more specific example. If you want to give me an example of something like, what do you do? How do you play? See, if we were doing a private lesson, that's what I would be. I'd be like ascertaining, what do you need to know? Like, for most of you, this may not be, particularly the songwriting or the music reading thing. Most of you, this is not relevant. And so it's more just something fun to teach. And some of you might use it. It might open new avenues for you. And that was kind of my hope. This kind of stuff, the CAGED method is a little bit more universal. Everybody kind of needs it. So how do I convert this to a PDF? Well, download them and put them into a Word doc, and then go to print. And instead of printing, just say save as PDF. I think that's what I usually do. I could do that for you, but I can't do it right now, obviously. No, you don't need to get it from app. You can log into it. Yeah, I have the app, Michael Riddick. I do have the app for Discord, but you can just use your browser to go to Discord. So you don't necessarily need to get another app. One of the things we ask is if you do it. I said do. If you do it, maybe try to use your name, like Michael Riddick. Use that as your handle on Discord. So when we go back and forth, oh, you're Michael Riddick from the YouTube. Okay, yeah, because everybody, and you can have different handles on Discord. I have it open right now. In fact, I have it. So we have lots of tabs too. Introductions, general chit chat, Tom's text chat channel, viewers help, custom. Actually, and Bruce is building me a. You can see the progression on that. He's building me a cigar box guitar, so you can see pictures of that. How's that going, by the way, Bruce? We haven't talked. And so there was questions here on that. Old physics teacher always said there are no stupid questions, only bad answers, right? Dennis. Becker, let's see. Oh, okay, he's answering the CAGED. Scale pattern and stuff. Yeah, fine. Yeah. So Becker's jumping in. Yep, Becker's. Yeah, basically what Becker's showing on that too is something I'm going to be dealing with next week. I think I'll probably jump on it. Yep. So, yeah, and everybody's really cool over there. We don't get political or religious. We try not to, sometimes we'll talk about like events that are affecting us, like maybe fires and things like that. So we can be thinking of each other, praying for each other, or whatever you want to do. But there's a tab there, Tom's lesson PDFs, and so all this kind of stuff is up there. Anything I create for our live stream, PDF or ping, these are just screen grabs, so they're pings, PINGs, not JPEGs. I could save them as JPEGs; it'd be smaller files. But I'm trying to move fast when I'm doing some of this stuff. So, but you can drag those out. You can download them for free, no charge. In fact, we started doing. We've been doing reading, and so I've created. Gosh, how many pages? 10, 15 pages. 15 pages maybe of music reading. So we've been learning that. So if you go back, about 15 lessons or so, you can see where we started talking about. And there was last week's JPEG, okay, and then here's this week's JPEG, or not JPEG, sorry, pings, or screen grabs that I did. So anyway, and those, and again, I color coded them so you can kind of easily see the shapes. The G shape, the A shape, the E shape, the D shape, the C shape, and the goal is ultimately to start to see them up and down the neck. But if you just remember the word cage, that gets you halfway there, because it's like, oh shoot, what's after C? Oh duh, A. Okay, what's after A? And I literally taught this for years, probably 20 years before somebody said, "Oh, you mean CAGED method?" I went, "What do you mean CAGED method?" He goes, "Oh, CAGED. It spells cage. That's what you." It was like, are you kidding me? It's like, I've been teaching this for 20 years. I never knew it was called the CAGED method, and I'd heard of the term CAGED method, but I just thought, oh, it's some, it's like the Suzuki method or something like that. I had no idea. I didn't know what it was. May have been before the internet. Oh, Safari says invalid address. Weird. Let me. Did I grab it weird? Maybe I grabbed it weird. Let me see. Let me copy and paste it into copy, and I'll try to do it to Safari. Because I actually have it open in Safari right now. Yeah, accept invite. Okay, so and there's 21 people online, 408 members. The Peanut H power chord. I don't know why he called it that. I don't know why Dennis. I have no idea. You told me at some point, and I can't remember. But why is it called Peanut H? It's some like obscure reference, probably to some cartoon that I remind him of or something in Holland. Because Dennis is in Holland, Bruce is in Florida, and Holly's in California with me. Sounds so scandalous, doesn't it, Holly? This is how rumors get started. So these are all 5 of the, basically, and again, there's 5 major pentatonics, there's 5 minor pentatonics. So as we start to unpack all that, you're going to start to see that. Now, I'm not going to show you all 5 pentatonics. What I'm going to do is we're going to take one of the shapes, and I'm going to show you the major and I'll probably show you the major pentatonic, the minor pentatonic, overlaying it, excuse me. I will show you maybe a major scale, a minor scale, Dorian scale, Lydian scale. I don't know. I could superimpose a bunch of scales, and you will see these shapes. Now, I may use the broader. What did I do here? These are just the basic. These are just the basic shapes that we know and love. I may use the green. Maybe I won't. I'll keep it maybe that. But like for example, I was thinking of using the G form here at the 5th fret. This is a C chord, so I'll show you the A minor pentatonic and C major pentatonic, of course, right there. So same thing. I won't show you both. The minor, and then C minor pentatonic is right there too. So if I want to do more of a blues sound over that C major, then I would superimpose the C minor pentatonic, or I could show you C major scale. What am I doing? I usually play it like that. Okay. Everything is important, yeah. Yeah, diminished scale. It's the hardest thing I've ever tried to learn. I was watching that Frank Gambale with Rick Beato the other day. Frank Gambale, he's got sausage fingers, and I've seen him live. I've sat like 10 feet from him many times, and he's got these sausage fingers, and yet he can play. If you think you have fat fingers, go watch Frank Gambale. His facility is just. No. I don't know how he does the stuff he does, to be honest, especially with those fingers. But he's actually has a good tone. Not a huge Gambale fan, but I learned a lot from him over the years. But time for some finger Pilates, exactly. I'm missing some stuff here. Let's see. Yes, H in German is actually B, and B is B flat. Yeah, the origin of that is because Bach wanted to be able to spell his name in music. So he must have written a piece that had a B flat, an A, a C, and a B in it, which is hilarious. Hey Tom, these charts are great. Oh, at the Discord, I just created them this morning, after coffee. I created those charts after coffee. So Zach, you can grab those on the Discord. Feel free to use them, print them up, put them in a PDF, share them, whatever. But yeah, they can just kind of help you find all of those those shapes pretty quickly. And I just use those 5. I could technically do every key so you could see it, but I just wanted to do starting on C, starting on A, starting on G, starting on E, starting on D, and just to spell out CAGED with the first chord of each one of those. So let's see. So wait, did Bruce answer my question about how my cigar box guitar is coming? No. Oh, you solved the head. Okay, good. You solved the problem with the headstock load. Yeah, okay. Yeah, maybe it's time to post some more pictures. Everybody likes seeing those. George Thorogood, yeah. He's let's see. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Zach. So what I did was it is a diminished scale, very good ears. I was into Eric Dolphy, who's a sax player who does a lot of scale displacement, plays notes in different octaves. He might do something like, that was it. Things like that. And so I was thinking, okay, what if I displaced a diminished scale? What if I displaced it octaves, and sometimes didn't? Like sometimes I wanted, and it just created this like, what the heck is that? I actually tried to work it into a pop song once. Well, not a pop song. It was more like a alt rock thing. Where does it go from there? I had it down at one point, but it's kind of one of those things. Why? So, okay. Spoiled that. Because I got to do an unboxing. So, Bruce, when I do the unboxing, should I do it live? Or should I go ahead and film myself unboxing it and making a Well, I think I'll do it live with all of you. So we'll do a live. I'll make it a separate. I'll make it a separate live stream from the normal Monday. Okay, but I'll put it up on Discord that I'm going to do it, and then we can do that together. The reason I wouldn't make it a special video, like its own freestanding video, is because you're not in the business of making these things. When I do those unboxing videos or new gear reviews or whatever, it's because potentially the maker could get a lot of work out of it or a lot of sales out of it. So yeah, I've used bits of it in things, Zach, definitely. You probably find more musical ways than me to work it in somewhere, but I just thought it was more of an exercise I wanted to try to do. I was studying with a guy named Carl Verheyen, and he's really big on playing sixths and sevenths instead of seconds and thirds, fifths, fourths, things like that, things you tend to not play. So he was having me do like exercises and things like that in that realm, and that was back in the 80s. I was studying with Carl. And some of you may know who Carl Verheyen is. Great player. But yeah, so let's see. PO. I don't know what PO is. Is that some form of Pilates? Okay. You got the app. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Dennis. Okay, post a head up on Discord and YouTube when you're doing the reveal. Oh, okay. So it means. But the thing is, Bruce, tell me when you've sent it so I know to be looking for it. But I don't know how long it'll take to deliver, so I won't. So so what's gonna be hard is I'm gonna have to leave it in the box for until I can let everybody know I'm going to do it. So, but yeah, so the cigar box guitar will have an acoustic quality. We'll have a pickup in it, and basically it's going to be tuned. I think D DAD or something, right? Or EBE. It's going to be root fifth root. 3 strings. I don't know. Are we going low? I think we're going pretty low on it, right? Like low E string on a guitar and then the B and E. I think that's the tuning. Hopefully, hopefully, oh, it'd be horrible if it got like crushed in delivery and I'm opening the box and it's all shattered. That would be awful, you guys. Although that video would probably get like millions of views. Ooh, it'd be awful. It'd be just awful. And I'd make all this money. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Any last minute check? I got a little break from work. Are these? No, I did not do that. I did. They're just in. I uploaded them though to the Discord as screen grabs, which are pings on my end. So hopefully you can drag those, download those, and put them into like a Word doc or something. I mean, I can do that. I can do that when we're done here, and I'll upload it. Okay. So just give me a little bit of time, and I'll put them across on a vertical thing. So you just print it up vertically. Okay. Don't worry about it, Sam. I'll create one. Just check back in, maybe in an hour, and I'll have it up there. Okay. Which is probably my sign to take off. You have Carl's intervallic. Yeah. Who's even better at that is Joe DiOrio. Joe DiOrio's stuff is great, but I mean, I'm even watching like. Here's the thing: that plane, that type of plane, and Carl can do anything because he's just like was a session. He was the guy that was doing what I wanted to be doing when I moved here. And I met him before I moved here. I met him at a club when I flew out here to see if I wanted to live here. And every night I went to a different club to see live music, and I saw him playing with, I can't think of the sax player. And Carl blew me away. I was like, oh my gosh. So I went backstage, met him, got his phone number, and I actually went over to his house, apartment at the time, a couple of days later and took a guitar lesson from him. I learned more from just looking at what was on his turntable than the lesson itself, which is funny. Because like I was at that point, that was 1982, summer of 82, I was a jazz snob. So I was playing in a band, but I was really kind of a jazz snob. I was playing top 40 band. And I'd walk in there, and I know this guy's an amazing guitar player. I saw him play with a jazz sax player. He could play jazz and all this stuff. And I go to his house, and he's got the Police Synchronicity record on his turntable. I said, why are you listening to pop? And he goes, do you know how much money I make sounding like Andy Summers? And that's when it hit me. It was like, oh, wait, part of the job is to sound like other people. So that was a real eye-opener, just that alone. But he was also like listening to Keith Jarrett and stuff. But there's so many musicians that, like Rick Beato's, like his old guitar technique thing is great. It's very amazing, and I can't do that. There's things of it I can do, but I've just always geared towards what are most people going to want to hear? That's kind of no, I can do it. I think I can do that. Well, you could do it if you want. I don't care. Holly, if you want to do that, that would be great. But I feel like you do enough for me for no reward. See, Dave Hunter and Carl did videos for the internet. Oh, yeah, Fender Bubble. Carl. Yeah, Carl's playing is unbelievable. Yeah, he's a great player. And I used to see him live, like with his band and stuff, because they were always playing like the Baked Potato and things like that. So I would see him in LA quite a bit. Last time I saw him was at a funeral for a mutual friend. So that was kind of sad. Late to the game. Yeah, you're way late. Hey, Tal, have you gotten any gigs from that soundbetter.com yet? I mean, at your rate, I can't imagine somebody wouldn't say, oh, I'll take a shot on this engineer. Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks, Bruce. Well, and I can change the gauge and adjust the tuning, too. If I want to go with a higher tuning, I can put thinner strings on and tune it up. Very, very easy to do. I couldn't remember if we'd even talked about that. It could be GDG would be fine. EBE would be fine. But I'm pretty sure we talked root fifth root is the tuning for most cigar box guitars. Kind of basically like a. I mean, it's not tuned like that now. Well, no, it should be. Yeah. So my dulcimer, but I've got really heavy strings on here. I'm wearing pants. Hey, I changed instruments. You can all take a sip. That's one of our drinking game rules. Oh, you changed out. Oh, you changed out the pickup also. Okay. When you were running it, you're not getting the sound you wanted when you were put it together. I need to get another chromatic dulcimer. I think I paid $450 for my current chromatic dulcimer, but I'd like to have another one where I can tune it really low like that. All right. So Holly, do you want to do that? Let's see. If you do that, that's fine. You probably already did it. It's like, yeah, Tom, it's done. It's already up there. But you're more than welcome to post that up in my Tom's Lesson PDFs. It's on point. I wouldn't want anybody necessarily putting random stuff in there. It should stick with pretty much what I'm teaching on. Pretty much just be my PDFs and stuff. Hey, Mari. Oahu, good to see you. Oh, yeah, that's the link. Yeah. So I don't know if I'm not like, I only am members of two groups on. Well, I guess technically 3 groups because OBS for some reason has me listed in their group. But my friend Josh has a group, but I don't think they've done anything in a long. No, they haven't done anything in a long time. He was doing. Yeah, he was doing. My friend Josh was doing live mixing on Discord, and they kept taking down his videos. So frustrating. So because he was mixing records that were given to him to mix. It was his job, but the copyright triggers were getting them in trouble or something. So they kept taking down the videos, which is a drag. So okay, Holly. Okay, so Holly's going to make the PDF, so it'll be up there for anyone who can't figure out how to download. And I don't blame to print up 5 different things is stupid when you can have it all on one page. And then it'll behoove you to have a color printer, but you should be able to see all these. And Holly, if you can do them in this order, the C, so that the bottom chord is C, A, G, E, and D like this. So in other words, I would go landscape mode. Oh shoot. I would go landscape mode and basically do this and then save as PDF. So basically that's what you should be looking at. So if you look at the bottom chord in each of those diagrams, it's here, C, A, G, so hard. It's harder than playing guitar. E and D. C, A, G, E, D. Caged, ergo, but that helps you see the thing. And I was going to try to do. It's just so hard not to grab this. I was going to try to do the colors coordinating with like the letter, like C could be, like what color starts with C? It's like, and then I had so A, okay, apples. What color are apple? No, G, E, D. Elephants are gray. Okay, so E. I just couldn't think of colors, so I just said no. Because it could be like I could have ended up with like 5 subtly different shades of brown. You know, what is it, cyan or what are the, you know, it's like, no, yeah, that wouldn't work. So they needed to be pretty much Crayola colors. And again, the red just doesn't look red to me. I don't know what's wrong. So there you go. See, Holly's on it. Again, Holly, you do way too much for me. You too, Bruce. Dennis, you're lagging here. No, Dennis does the whole. He's at the Discord thing. Bruce is making me a guitar, and Holly is making me a PDF. So you got the moderators working really hard. See, I'm trying to move this. I got to double click on it to move it. Okay, so I'm going to take off, you guys. I will see you next Monday, Lord willing, and I might have this other song uploaded. If I can get this recorded, I'm going to hopefully get it recorded by this week. The problem with doing a solo fingerstyle thing is you really can't punch in on that. The question mark thing, I was basically playing most of the phrases individually. You know, there was a lot of punch-ins there, but there's gaps in between them, so it's real easy to punch in. These things, I kind of don't want to play to a click, which means it makes it really difficult to punch in. I feel like I can't find a good tempo for this, which means it tells me that I'm changing the speed for different sections, and so. I'm going to change that chord there, so that's going to be different that time around, but just the one time. Back to this. I'm going to go after this. I'm trying to memorize it so that I don't have to read it. Big finish. So it's a little Carl Verheyen-ish now that I think about it. And we've been talking about Carl. I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, he definitely had an influence on my playing because he was my teacher. But, you know, yeah, I say teacher, I probably took a dozen lessons from him, or half a dozen lessons, actually. So, anyway, that song's called Emma Louise. I wrote it with my daughter. It's kind of quirky, kind of fun. Like, she's kind of quirky and fun. She's killing it. She's been doing these youth events where she gets up and speaks in front of thousands of junior high kids and just makes them laugh. And, you know, it's just been very fun. So she's blowing me away with her confidence. She's 23 years old and can speak. It's like, gosh, it's amazing. When your kids start doing things and it's like that you can't do, it blows you away. It's like, wait, I didn't show you that. You can't do that. You're not allowed to do that because I didn't show that. It's like Jack with his literally designing arms used on the Mars thing that NASA's sending up. They're using his design of the arms that are grabbing things out of space to bring back to Earth. So when they bring back a virus from Mars, that's a fault of a Strahle. Like any of you are surprised. Oh, well, that makes sense. Yes, thank you for hanging out. Adios, muchos. Saludos. Oh, thank you, Catherine. You came back for that. Yeah, so I'm hoping to have that recorded this week, maybe uploaded. I'm going to have my friend master it, and then I'll upload it. This time I'll upload it right and not do it Pro. I'll just do it, whatever, on CD Baby, because I have an administrator. I messed up. I'm still trying to figure out what they're going to do about that. Okay, I'm gonna end stream, sign off. Thank you so much for watching. I'll let you know how many. We got 45 likes, Holly. We got way up there. So yeah, hang out in Discord, especially some of you newbies. Okay, we keep adding to that, and I will promote. I will try to let people know stuff that's coming up. So anyway, bye. Oh, 39 people.